But hurry, limited quantities available. You better get it when you see it at West Yellowknife.
For years now, Chattanooga's Rump Run has been a fun but powerful reminder of the importance of getting colorectal screenings because colon cancer, colorectal cancers are so easily treatable, we are told, if they can just be caught early. So this year, the fun is back March 23rd at Enterprise South. We're very happy to have Dr. Marshall Horton, who is a retired gastroenterologist, on the show. This is Gary Sanders next to him, who is a very proud survivor. So I realized as I said this about it being, quote, easy to treat, that really might have not been quite the fair way to say it. And yet we hear, Dr. Horton, that if you catch it early, your outcome is quite good. Is that right?
Yes, screening is very important. Catch it when it's asymptomatic. Colon cancers develop slowly from polyps. Most cancers develop from polyps, so most polyps don't grow from cancer. Most polyps don't go to cancer. Polyps are just little growths in the wall of the colon, and if we can remove these, we remove the precancerous lesion and thus reduce the risk of cancer.
All right, so Gary, let's talk about you because you don't mind at all sharing your story.
Absolutely.
Did it catch you out of the blue?
It did. So I'm probably like a lot of your audience and probably most young Americans under 40 years old that colon cancer would never be something that they would have to worry about. So I was diagnosed at the age of 31, no family history of colon cancer, and really no education about what colon cancer is. So a lot of the symptoms that I had, I ignored for probably a good year and a half.
Wow. Because
I personally was kind of embarrassed to talk to a doctor about these symptoms. And
sure.
Again, I had this persona that colon cancer was something that your grandparents could get, or your parents. So again, age 31 was diagnosed, and like you said, it is treatable and it is beatable, and if caught early enough. And unfortunately, I ignored those symptoms and almost got to a point where it wasn't going to be beatable. I was diagnosed stage 3B colon cancer.
Wow.
And a tough journey, but I'm glad to be here 11 years later and helping spread the word to talk about what colonoscopies do for people that save their lives. Just bring more awareness about colon cancer, because you see the trend that younger Americans are being diagnosed with colon cancer at an alarming rate.
I mean, I know that your answer is probably going to be any type of screening is better than no screening, but is a colonoscopy still the preferred treatment or the preferred way to screen?
Yes, colonoscopy is the gold standard, because at colonoscopy, asymptomatic polyps can be removed at the time of the procedure and reduce the risk of cancer in the future. Now, some people are just resistant to colonoscopy, and only about 2/3 of the population is current in their screening. So there are other tests, stool collection tests, looking for microscopic amounts of blood in the stool that can only be detected chemically. And the new kid on the block is Cologuard, which is a we've all heard about in the news.
The commercial,
commercials, yeah. And it's a test for blood, but also they isolate cells that are passed from the lining of the colon in the stool and look for DNA abnormalities associated with colon cancer. Now, if those tests are positive, then colonoscopy is necessary. And I might add, there's a lot of research going on looking at blood testing as a method of screening for colon cancer.
Let's talk a little bit about the event, and then we'll get into some other topics too. But it is March 23rd over at Enterprise South. I've always just thought of it as being the Rump Run, but you were telling me that you have fun with it every year, so y'all have a slogan for this year, right?
Yeah, the name of this year's event is Screen Your Back Door in 2024.
Have you found that by making a little bit lighthearted, it's easier to get people to come out and then ultimately talk about it? Because you're right, this is not a taboo subject anymore.
That's right. I think if you haven't had the opportunity to attend the event and you go to the event, it is widely known with the pictures and the different costumes that this is a subject that we have to feel comfortable about talking about. And it's something, again, kind of taboo that a lot of people didn't want to talk about before. Right. So the event just kind of, again, brings awareness about these things.
You've made it accessible for everybody because there's a fun run as well as a 5K, and you can walk it if you want to, right? So, like, do you have a team of people who are going to
That's
do it
right.
with you?
So, my employer, we did a sponsorship, and I've gotten my teammates involved. And unfortunately, one of our teammates, her husband, is actually going through this battle too. So, we've kind of rallied around it, and I've let them be creative and come up with a great team name. But there are some really fun names around this event that teams pair up against each other.
At what age should we get a screening? Because here he says he was 30, 31.
The present screening age is 45. Now, it was previously 50, but because of an increasing incidence in the younger age group, the age has been lowered to 45. Now, if there's a family history of colon cancer, it may require starting even earlier. So people in this category should talk with their physician.
Did other people in your family, after your experience, go and have their own screenings done?
Yes, but both of my sisters and that were at that time under the age 50 recommendation, they did. My parents went and scheduled theirs, even though I think they already had theirs. And then, of course, my oldest daughter is almost 23, which she'll be scheduling hers, and I've got a son who'll be 20 next month. So again, not only go to your recommendation of the screenings, but be aware of the symptoms and don't ignore these symptoms. Communicate with your doctor and tell him or her what's going on.
Do they ever mimic symptoms of other things? Is that a trick? You mentioned that you went on for a year and a half before finally saying something.
Yeah.
In your mind, were you thinking, it's probably just nothing?
Yeah, I mean, again, 30, 31 years old, you're thinking, man, it's probably my diet. I'm working, staying up late at night. I should probably change my eating habits or so forth. But I mean, I ignored blood and stool, which again, that was an embarrassing topic to talk about.
Sure.
And that's probably the most, common theme about colon cancer.
If you were going to tell people, look, if you see these 3 things, run, don't walk, what would your 3 be?
The symptoms that people need to be aware of is rectal bleeding, new onset of abdominal pain, change in bowel habits, unexplained weight loss, and anemia.
Go ahead.
Are the primary issues.
Are there things that we should make sure we do to try to prevent it?
Well, number one, get screened. If you're having symptoms, talk to your doctor.
Diet,
high in fresh fruits and vegetables, high fiber. Don't smoke. If you drink alcohol, reduce your intake. Avoid obesity. Get lots of exercise.
all the things. Water, drinking water. Does that play into it at all?
Not sure
Not really?
about that.
Okay.
Sounds good.
It sounds good though. I can play a doctor on TV. Okay, here's how you sign up. Okay, it's the Rump Run. This year is called, say it again.
Screen your back door in 2024.
That's just too fun.
And don't forget, colonoscopies save lives.
They absolutely do. So 45 is your magic number, unless you do have a family history, and then talk to your doctor. RumpRun.com. You can get a team together too at your work or your neighborhood, however you choose to do it. And can kids be a part of it?
Absolutely.
Certainly, and we're going to have a kids zone there.
Excellent. Thank you.
The best shower remodel for the best price. Montgomery Showers is offering huge savings on our very popular shower systems with 0% interest for 18 months. Now is the perfect time to start your project. Montgomery Showers, local, quality value, MontgomeryShowers.com.
Chattanooga Dental